Well, good morning, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola here in front of John 316 Cafe, one of the awesome spots you can hang out in St. Cloud. And today is way cool because I get to hang out and talk to Jenn Paul, who is Seat 2,
Yes.
City of St. Cloud City Council. How's it going?
Good morning, everyone. It's going lovely. A lot of people might say lovely, but right now I'm just enjoying the learning as being an elected official
Sure,
and everything that's
sure.
going on the city side. Now that I am an elected official, you get to be able to see much more, the full picture, I say, versus what you would see public as a citizen, even though I'm still a citizen, but you get to see much more behind the scenes of how everything goes and works. So
You're a great citizen, not just a citizen. You're a great citizen.
Well, thank you.
And a beautiful, it's just like, so this is the whole year, like we focus on when do we get that weather? This is the weather.
It's perfect this morning, perfect. So
So when you get on the phone, you call, if you have friends or family that live like in Ohio, nothing against Ohio. If you live in Ohio, Pennsylvania, upstate New York, you're going, just let you guys know we're thinking of you down here.
oh yes,
So
and
it's
they'll
beautiful.
be quick to say, don't rub it in. So I enjoy this Florida weather.
You know it. So how's family? Family's good?
Family's good. Basically can't complain. My youngest daughter will be graduating in May from St. Cloud High School, so go Bulldogs. She's actually the third generation from the Paul family from within my family that will be graduating.
Sure.
So my dad graduated in 1976, I was 2002, and she's 2025. So
Wow.
we are a proud family of the Bulldog family. So
Love it, love it. We love the Bulldogs as well.
yes.
And all the other county teams, just
Yes,
saying.
yes.
I know, it's great. And you get that, I don't know if there's anything that's quite like being a fan of like your hometown vibe. It's like there's nobody can talk you out of that, no
Oh,
matter
no.
what they said.
Oh yes, yes. So we
That's
still
great.
show love to the other schools, but
Sure.
it's Bulldogs
Sure,
here.
you know it. It's like, and it always seems like, so we're going to be in summer, and we're all going to be going, wow, summer vibes, whatever that is for everybody. And then I feel like, and I say this every year, then I'm like in this mourning that, oh my gosh, summer's over. How did it go that fast? And then we'll end up like, as an example, we'll be on the Bulldogs field, and I'm looking around for football. I'm like, I'm glad football's here.
Yeah.
And you're good. So again, thanks for taking time to talk to us. We love being able to talk to you, and
Absolutely.
you're busy, like you said. There's a pretty vast difference between being a community advocate, which you have been, your family has been, and then when you get right into a seat.
Yes.
Certainly vastly different. So this is in your 5th month-ish, correct?
Yes. Going into my 5th month as an elected official, and so far of all the great things that has happened, we do host a lot of workshops here in the city of St. Cloud. Which I love. A lot of people might say loving workshops, but I think it allows us to all sit at the table to talk about things that are happening in our community and allow the public to come in as well to share their concerns, and we just all sit at the table and let's discuss it. So
Right.
I love that, and that's the beauty of we're all working together. So
And I talked to Chris Robertson, I think before he was sworn in, and he said that's something I think that we all should be doing. And I'm just like, hey, conversation is good. And I've said this, we kind of talked about, I glanced on it before we started. We all know this is, we talk about Osceola County being one of the fastest growing counties in the state and, and in the country, really. And certainly St. Cloud, this district being District 5, is probably the fastest growing district in our county. I mean, District 1 is always going to be busy,
Yes.
tourism side, but this side has certainly seen a lot of residential growth. So that means you guys are managing stuff.
Yes.
Right? You're managing things a lot. So how do you manage, and this is something I really want to chat on, how do you deal with what people, residents and surrounding areas, what they want you to talk about, what you want to talk about for, let's say, today, but then that's not the only thing you're dealing with. You're dealing with 5, 10, 20 years out. So how do you find time? How do you find brain to do all that, right? So how do you parse all that stuff all at one time, pretty much?
Well, I think for one, it starting out as if I have a concern in my community, one thing that I find I would do is picking up the phone and calling my elected official and sharing my concern with them.
Right.
Simply sending an email or even setting up a meeting. This past week I had meetings with different people and they wanted to come in and share their concerns in the community. So I invite them. I make time to sit down with the residents to come in and share their concerns, and we do address them at the higher level. And we also establish workshops where we can invite the public in to come in and just talk about some of the things that they have concerns about, especially like the future land use.
Right.
That was a discussion about. We held a workshop on that, so that way we can invite the residents in and hear their concerns as
Sure.
well and try to work together to at least come to a common ground. Because like you said, in 10, 15, 20 years, Lord willingly, we all, we'll still be living in this community. So even if I'm not here in the next 4 years, someone else will be here, but I'll still be living in this community. So we try to all work together when it comes to sitting down and at workshops and let's talk about it. And then of course we go through those changes with staff and then working before us at the council meeting.
And so in all that, what hit me is that February was Black History Month.
Yes.
And then you look at this month is Women's History Month. So is that it? Do you feel like that brings pressure onto you? Like, I better really make sure things are going right here.
So at the beginning, and now this will go back to when I was just a community advocate.
Sure.
Doing work in the community, and I seen the different things that was happening, as well as I grew up in Narcoossee, which is with a historic community now.
Right.
And so I seen things happening there that I spoke up on and stepped up about it. So I was just doing the work in the community, but then at the same time as we were moving forward, I seen things, and I was like, always pray for guidance to give me direction on what to do. So it was that opportunity where God allowed me to, it was time for me to step up and go even further to what I was doing as a community advocate. But being elected as the first time African American in Osceola County for St. Cloud was big, but I tried not to be stuck on there, too much, because a lot of people, they'll be like, well, why did it take this long for them? If you understand the history of St. Cloud and understand different things, then it's so many reasons why someone didn't run. But moving forward, yes, I was elected as the first African American, but it just breaks barriers to our community, and it also shows the other younger people who might be involved in political world too that they can do it as well too. So and being that this month is Women's History, I can't do nothing but thank the people before me that helped shape this community and was an inspiration to help shaping this community. So it just ties into both back to back, but I'm blessed and it was a beautiful thing. So
No pressure. Zero pressure on Jenn Paul.
Yes.
Well, there probably really isn't. I mean, you may feel a little, I don't know if you feel pressure on that or not. I just think I've known you long enough to know that it is what it is.
Yes.
I think that's a paramount point you make, though. Sometimes it's just, and this sounds like I'm oversimplifying it, right? Which I'm not meaning to. But sometimes it's like, okay, woman, first black woman in St. Cloud Council, that does really probably get people to say, well, if she can do that, I can do that.
Oh, yes.
It's simply that sometimes, right? You just go, I can identify with her. And I think people who really process things probably say, how come I haven't thought that before? But now they probably can process that.
Yes.
If she's done that, I probably should give that a shot. And it opens up lots of avenues, right?
It does. It does. I mean, when I'm out in public, I've had young girls, probably the same age as my daughters, come up to me and excuse me, and say, can I take a picture with you? And so therefore, when I see that, I know I'm inspiring them, or they have seen me somewhere before,
Right.
because they'll be like, I've seen you somewhere, and I know, everybody's watching. St. Cloud is watching, so you just never know who's watching you. But I think it would be an inspiration to the younger people that they can step up and do the same thing as well. So I broke the barrier, but it's up to the next generations to go for it. So
Yeah, that's perfectly said. I think that's, Osceola County, certainly a different county than it was, let's say, 20 years ago. I mean, and that's for my wife and I, Lisa, she's the CEO. So we're woman-run business as well. And everybody who knows us is very grateful that she's running it, not me. But this is a different county, different city, right?
Yes.
Which is where, to us, that's where the richness and diversity is what the power of this county is. To us, it's what makes it awesome. And the younger generations, they don't know anything different. That's what Osceola County is.
Yes.
And I'm glad of that. So.
And that's the beauty of it here, just being able to, because as we are growing, we are becoming more diverse, even now more so.
Sure.
So that's the beauty of us all being able to unite together and let's move forward. So.
Right. And we'll all see, and we've all seen this if we're on social media. Okay, the doors are closed. We're full. We have enough people. That's not how it works. Number one. Number two, it's the secret's out. It's a cool place to be.
Right.
This is like if you look on the weather, the northeast right now is still cold.
Right.
It's not the only reason you move here, but certainly one of them is it's a great place to live. And you have one life, so Come on, move down here. We're good with it. I'm good with it. I'll say that.
I'm good with it too as well. My family has been here since 1952 in Osceola County, Narcoossee. So graduated, like I said, at St. Cloud High School, and I have no intentions of moving anywhere else. So I'm good with where I'm at.
Yeah, we're the same way. We're the same way. So in all that, what are some of the, if you could think of some, this isn't a gotcha either. So what are some of the things, what are the challenges maybe that you really feel while you're, I don't know if you're going to run again. That's not my business. But what is, whether it's 1 or 2 terms, what is a challenge you really want to tackle while you are an elected official? What's something you feel like, gosh, I'm not talking about the minutia, but overall, what's something you really want to tackle while you're in leadership?
Right now, it's just, I want to ensure that we are listening to the residents when they come up with their concerns. Everyone has something going on in their community, and I want to ensure that when someone sends me some email, text message, call me, or even send a letter in the mail, which that has happened, to share their concern, I want to be able to ensure that we recognize your concern and we address it. And that's the impact that I want to make, because I don't want people looking at me saying, well, I tried to reach out to her and she didn't respond or anything. And so that's the last thing that I want to do. So I make sure I address any concern that is going on. If it's something simple as, hey, a street light is out on here, we'll get an email for that, but I want to make sure that it goes to the right area to address that issue. And that's all. It's simple, but that's all in making the changes that are happening in our community. So, and as well as working with our elected officials, even from the county side, the city. So us all working together to ensure that we make, the necessary changes to our community that will help shape our community. So
yeah, and I would say this from a non-elected official perspective. So I happen to know a lot of your communications people, and what's nice is when you are working in these workshops, when you are having council meetings, when you're working through challenges that you might want to get past or plan for the future. I know you're doing a survey right now for a master plan. The communications team does a really good job in St. Cloud, so they get that messaging out. And sometimes that's a challenge for organizations. You get so wrapped up in operations that you forget that one last piece. Hey, we better tell everybody what we're talking about. That's not the case in St. Cloud. So are you seeing that too from an elected official side? They do get your messaging out.
Absolutely, because when we have workshops, one thing, like if there's something that's getting ready to be developed in the community, I think our whole concern is make sure we ensure the residents that are going to be impacted by it, that we either hold a community workshop or a community meeting, letting them know what's happening in their community, what's getting ready to happen, so that way they can share their concerns. Being transparent for the most part and getting the information out there. We love when the residents respond back to, even with the simple survey.
Right.
Doing the survey matters. So it helps share your concerns that you have, what you want to see in your community, because at the end of the day, the community that you live in is where you live in, and you help shape that community. So I think it's important for feedback from the community, and to share their concerns. So
yeah, I think you nail it right there. I mean, human nature typically is, and I'll speak for human nature, I guess, right now. But human nature says, well, I'm going to wait and see what they do. That's their job, and then I'm going to comment on it. And a lot of times, that's not how you best serve what your wishes are. Right. This is an opportunity. Certainly, the city has put that out, and I know I saw it last night as well. Just a great, and so I'll look at the camera when I said challenging the folks in the community to go ahead and look for that survey. We'll put a link on this that allows people to go out and, like you said, share what your wishes are for where you live. You know, what could be better than that? So I'm glad you guys are doing that. So I know you're going to have to run soon, but I do want to kind of give a macro question to you. So, and we kind of almost touched on it. So 10, 20, 30 years from now, what would you want your legacy as a leader here in St. Cloud? I know this is something I dropped this huge question on you, but really, when you look ahead, when you look back in 10, 20, 30 years, how would you like this part of your life? Because there's only one part of it.
Right.
How do you want to look back on this part of your life and see what you did or how your impact was?
Really just being a change maker. Want to leave that behind. I have 2 girls, so even breaking barriers that a lot of people say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. You can do it when you press forward. And, just for me, I grew up in a church, so it's always respectfully God's guidance to help guide me to where I need to go. But and just being a change maker. She did this for the community. I remember her doing this, and so just being a change maker overall, and being unified at that as well, because we see so much, right now in the world of division, but just being someone that was, she bringing people together and moving forward. So that would be my simplified answer. So
when I drop a huge one on you, well, no, I think that's a perfect answer. I think the community. I'm not just speaking just St. Cloud. I think I'll speak for me. When I vote, when I speak my voice that way, my family the same way. All I'm actually asking is the person to be involved in the discussion, right? Yes. And try to. And when you say change maker, that's really, I think, when you boil it down, that's kind of what you're looking for, right?
Yes.
Be a part of the conversation. Tell us how it's going. Let us tell you what we think, and then keep working on it.
Absolutely.
I think that's where people are at, really.
Yes. Yes, and it's so simple. And being involved in our community is another thing. A lot of people, even as a community advocate, when I was doing my work out in Narcoossee, a lot of people would say, "Oh, a government is going to do what they want to do." Well, we spoke up, and our elected official was listening. So it's just simple stuff like that, where you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm having this issue in my community. I'm not getting on social media ranting about it or, pitting anyone down. I'm just going to pick up the phone and say, hey, we have this issue in our community. Get involved, talk to your elected officials. This is what we were elected for, to help serve our community. So I want to be able to do just that and listen to the people when they come forward with concerns. So
there's some good people in this community.
Yes.
And I think for the most part they do what you just said. We get to meet people out here. Teresa Malad is one. She comes to a lot of the things. We're just trying to be, just trying to affect some good impact, good input to people, so you guys can process that and see how it all works out. We do appreciate you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, and I thank you for inviting me. I know we had many conversations about sitting down, so we finally did it.
You know, and I'm just by chance on a nice, beautiful morning with the birds chirping.
Yes, and sipping great tea from the cafe.
That's right, John 316 Cafe. One of my fave hangs in St. Cloud. There are a lot of great people running businesses downtown. You guys do a great job at supporting them. It's like if you look back, and I'll end with this. I remember 20 years ago walking around, and it was at that point it was almost all antique shops, which was great. It was a different time period, but I'm glad that we see different things happening today, and get to talk with you.
Yes, a pleasure.
Awesome. And like I said, people come up to us all the time and say, gosh, you guys are everywhere. And I say, well, then you must have been everywhere also. I would say that you're pretty much everywhere as well. I see you all over the county and through St. Cloud. So thanks for your commitment.
Yes, thank you. This is what I was elected for, and I enjoy it, actually, the beauty of it. So helping to serve my community, and I do get that a lot as me being everywhere, but as I always say, long as I'm invited somewhere, I show up. I don't give people the opportunity to say Councilmember Paul didn't do this. So that's just my motto. So
if they start saying that, you give me a call. I'll stand on your side for that. I will say this. I think that you know her more than I know her. Certainly Dolores McMillan. There's still somebody out there that's doing it right and saying it and supporting what we're doing in the community and supporting you for sure.
Yes.
I think that's where you're probably going to land a little bit. So we'll see.
Yes.
That was the prophecy, and I'm glad that you look for guidance. We do as well.
Yes.
So the Lord is shining on you. So I'm glad.
Yes. Can't do nothing without him. So hey.
Straight up, don't want to, right? Cool. All right, everybody. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola here with Jenn Paul, Seat 2, St. Cloud City Council, doing a great job together, making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. See you at the next one.